Hi everybody, welcome to your yoga class today. You don't need any props, you just need to be able to sit down on your mat, crisscross your legs. If that doesn't feel good today, you can come round, you can sit on your knees, you could even sit on a chair if you have one in your house. Whatever way you're sitting today, take your hands and let's put them on your knees, spreading your fingers wide and spreading your toes. So there's lots of space between all of your fingers and your toes. Start to sit up really tall, stretching your tummy and stretching the top of your head up towards the ceiling. I'm going to teach you a different way to breathe today so that we stretch our tummies and that our breathing can get really big and help us if we do other sports or if sometimes we just feel a little bit tired and need a boost, okay? So the breathing that we're going to do today is called ocean breathing, because sometimes if you've ever put a shell to your ear, you might know that sound. It sounds like the ocean is in the shell. So it sounds and looks like this. Okay, so follow with me. Take your hands, put them on your legs if you haven't already. Take a big breath in through your nose, seal your lips shut, and breathe in. When you can't breathe in anymore and your tummy's all full, open your mouth and breathe out as long as you can. And we're going to start that all over again. Seal your lips shut and breathe in through your nose. When you're all full and you can't breathe in anymore, open your mouth and breathe out. And do that one more time. Squeeze your lips shut and breathe in through your nose. When you can't breathe in anymore, open your mouth and breathe out. Okay, you might feel a little bit funny at the back of your throat, or your nose might feel a little bit tickly, but that's okay, we're just practicing. And the more we do it, the more you get familiar with it. If your legs are crossed, let's change the cross in your legs. So the other one's in front. If you're sitting on a chair, you can maybe move forward or back. If you're kneeling, you can sit maybe a bit further back on your heels today. I'm going to teach you the next type of breathing that we're going to use for today's class. This is called the water sprinkler, because we're moving from side to side and we're making a noise that sounds like the water coming out of a sprinkler to make the grass really green or to water your plants. So I'd like you to take your hands and interlace them so that they are in front of you and then pop them on your head. Send your elbows out to the sides of the room and press the top of your head up into your hands. So you're stretching out your tummy, your ribs, and you're sitting up really tall. And you sit like this while you watch and listen to what we're going to do next. We're going to move from side to side. I'm going to take a big breath in and then start to move my body to one side and then the other. And you can make a noise with me. It's going to sound like this. Okay, let's do this. Take your hands, if you haven't already, and interlace them, pop them on top of your head. Send your elbows out to the side and let's start our water sprinkler. So it can start really small, like the water's coming through the hose and getting to the sprinkler. So it goes, and then it's getting gradually bigger. And keep going from side to side. And you could go faster or slower. And your breath slows down if you're going slower. Let's do this for 4 more breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And come back to the middle. Take your hands out to the side and put them down by your legs. And you might feel a little bit dizzy after that. You might feel a little bit, your eyes might have gone funny, but that's okay. Again, we're just practicing. We're getting lots of air into our body. Then the last thing I'm going to show you with your breath exercise today is to breathe into your tummies. And this is really good if you are tired, if you've maybe come home from school but you still have some homework that you need to do, or if you've been outside and you need to do things where you need to concentrate. So you're going to take your hands and place them on your tummy so it covers the most of your tummy as you can. So one hand on one side, one hand on the other beside your belly button. And as you breathe in, we're going to breathe in through your nose and fill your tummy up with air, fill your belly, so that it presses out into your hands like this. And when you breathe out, you're going to pull your tummy in away from your hands so you sit up tall. Okay, let's do this together. Fill your tummy, fill your belly with breathing. When you can't breathe in anymore, pull your belly button in towards your spine and away from your hands. And keep going like that, seeing how far you can send your tummy out into your hands. And let's do 2 more just like that. And then when you're finished, relax in your tummy and let your hands down by the sides of your body. We're going to do the next yoga pose today, and it is called butterfly pose. And it's going to stretch our hips, it's going to help us stretch out our arms, and also if you've been sitting doing lots of work at school, or if you've been sitting looking at the computer for a little while, this is a good way to stretch out your back as well. So take your feet and we're going to glue them, stick them together in front of you, pressing the soles of your feet together but stretching your toes away. So butterfly pose, our legs are our wings, and we're going to take our hands outside of our legs so we can sit up tall, so we're not falling over from side to side, and we're going to flap our wings slowly at first, up and down. So watching me if you've not done this before. Moving our legs up and down, up and down. Keeping our feet squeezing together, up and down. And we can start to go a little bit faster. And then see if you could just move one wing, one leg at a time, and then the other, and then both, that little bit quicker, and then stop. Squeeze your feet together, keeping stretching out our hips, reach your arms out to the sides. So we've got our wings in our legs and we've also got our arms. Reach out through your hand and we're going to pop it down onto the floor and stick it to the floor. Pop. Reaching our arm up towards the ceiling, stretch out our sides, stretch our hands. And then the next time you breathe in, come all the way back to center, using your breath to help you back, and then we'll go to the other side. Stretch out your right arm, put it to the floor, and reach your other arm up towards the ceiling. Stretching out the sides of your tummy, the ribs, and down to your hips. And then we're going to big breath in, come all the way back to the middle, bring our hands in, and then set them down. Okay, so we've stretched our hips out a little bit, we've worked our spine. Now we're going to draw some circles with our body today. You can draw little circles if that's what you want to do. We could draw bigger circles, You can draw big and little circles, but watch me first and listen to what we're going to do. We're going to circle our bodies all the way around in one way, rolling about in our bums. Maybe you are sitting upright and you're a little bit taller, and then we're going to stop and go in the other direction. Okay, but our legs and our feet are still squished together. So take your hands and put them on your knees, your shins. If you're still sitting on a chair, you can absolutely do this just with your hands on your knees, and you'll draw circles like this. Okay? So hands are on the legs, sitting up really tall, stretching your chest. Take a big breath in, and for as long as you're breathing out, we're going to draw a circle. Keep going, and then change direction. Big breath in. And then go in the other direction. So we're going to keep swapping, drawing all different sizes and types of circles. So your circle doesn't have to be anything like anybody else's circle. You can use your imagination. You can make tiny little circles, really big circles, or you can do a mixture of both, whatever you want to do today. So keep going, and we're going to draw 3 more circles. You can even draw a half circle and then go back the other way. And once you've done your 3 circles, you're coming to sit in the middle, and we're going to help our butterfly legs back into centre by taking your hands to the outside of your legs, bring them in, and then stretch your legs out. Okay, so before a butterfly becomes a butterfly, it's a caterpillar. So the next pose I'm going to show you is caterpillar pose. We have our legs out straight in front of us. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. If you're sitting in a chair, you can do this. You can just fold over the tops of your legs, and that gives your back a really nice stretch. So your legs are stretched out in front if you're on the floor, but bend your knees and our heels are on the floor. So a caterpillar grows over time as it munches on different leaves and eats and gets bigger and bigger until it's time to go into its cocoon. So in our caterpillar today, we're going to grow taller and longer in our stretch. So take your hands and we're going to put them at the back of our legs. Even if you can reach your toes, we're just going to hold on to the back of our legs today. Take a big breath in. So we're sitting up really tall, and as you breathe out, start to straighten your legs, your knees straighten a little bit, but if it hurts the back of your legs, you can keep your knees bent and fold your tummy to squeeze onto your legs. And maybe some of you can fold all the way over. Maybe some of you, this is the first time you've done this, and your legs feel a little bit sore and tight. So what you would do is just bring your knees closer in and practice here for a little while. And just like the caterpillar crawls into its cocoon, we're going to stay here and breathe really deeply, just like we practiced at the start of class, pressing your tummy out into your legs this time rather than your hands. So this might feel a little bit strange and like you can't breathe as big as you'd like to, but this is a great way to help us train ourselves to breathe more thoroughly. So keep breathing. And then, wherever you are, if you're sitting on the floor or in a chair, you're going to reach your arms out in front as if you were holding a big beach ball. And sit all the way up, stretch your arms up, stretch your legs out, and then give your legs that little bit of a wiggle. And the hands come down. I'm going to turn back to face you. So before a caterpillar is a butterfly, and then before it's a caterpillar, it's a tiny little dot. Sometimes you may have seen them on a leaf, So we're going to practice that. We're going to turn ourselves into a tiny little baby caterpillar. So let's bring yourself round. So you're not sitting on your bum anymore, you're on your knees. If you're in a chair, you can still do this by scooping your arms around the front of your legs and squeezing in really tight. So coming down, sending your bum back towards your heels, and we're going to scoop our arms in, making it like we're giving ourselves a big cuddle, and then snuggle your head down towards the floor. Squeeze in really tight. And then notice that sometimes this can feel really good if you stretch your arms back. And this is a nice pose if to maybe do in the morning. Even before you get out of bed, you can snuggle under your covers and do this child's pose. Or you can do it on the floor, stretch out your back before you start your day. So keep squeezing in. And then just like you would do in the morning, you're going to stretch one arm out in front and then the other arm out in front. So they're both straight. Stretching out our shoulders, stretching out our backs. If you're in a chair, what you're going to do here is reach your arms up and over your head. And then we're going to walk our hands off to one side, stretching out our sides. And this might feel like it gives you more stretch on one arm than the other, and that's okay because we're going to do the other side. And then walk your hands back into the middle, and then we're going to go off to do the other side. And all the time, we're practicing our breathing. So you might like to use ocean breath. You might like to use your tummy breathing that we practiced. Whatever breath you like to do. And we're walking our arms back into the middle, and then this time we're going to sit all the way up, growing tall, reaching our arms up over our heads. So if you're still sitting in a chair, if you can stand up, and we're going to move from side to side. If you're sitting in the chair and you can't stand up today, we're going to move our arms from side to side when you're sitting. So reaching the arms up, interlacing your hands so they're above your head, and then we're going to reach out to one side, stretching your arms, and you can rest your ear on your arm like a pillow. And then, like a big breath in, it's going to help us come all the way back to centre. As we breathe out, we're going to stretch off to the other side. And resting our ear on our arm like a pillow. And waiting for a big breath in, all the way back to the middle, reach our arms out and come down. So our hands are on the front of our legs. The next pose I'm going to show you is really good for stretching your spine and help keep everything moving the way that it should do. It's called a cat and a cow pose, but we're going to do it on our knees today. If you're sitting down, you can do this with your hands on your knees. I'm going to turn to the side. So cat pose is going to look like this. Your hands are on your legs. As you breathe out, you're going to squeeze your hands down towards your knees and press your shoulder blades back behind you, curling your spine. As you breathe in, your hands come back up your thighs and you send your tummy forward, opening up your chest and squeezing your shoulder blades together behind you. So let's practice that. Hands are on our legs or our knees. Taking a big breath in, breathe out, slide your hands down your legs, press your shoulders behind you. Inhale to come up, open up, squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. And you can move as fast or as slow as you'd like today. So curling up like a kind of angry cat. You can even make the noise. And coming up, opening up our tummies, opening up our chest into cow pose. And keep going here. Okay, next time you open your body up, we're going to swing our legs around and come all the way up to standing. One leg in front, we're going to tuck our back toes under and stand all the way up tall on our yoga mats. The next pose I'm going to show you is called mountain pose, because mountains can be really big, they're sturdy, and they are steady. So if we feel that we are maybe worried about something, or that you are upset about something, mountain pose is a really good one to practice because it makes us feel really tall, helps us find our own strength, and we can do lots of different things when we're in mountain pose. So let's have a look down at our feet and make sure they're not touching, they're slightly further apart, about as wide as your hips. Turn your palms to face forwards and spread your fingers. And this is like a simple mountain pose that you can practice using the breathing that we've already done at the start of class, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And it feels really strong, it feels really steady. If you want a little bit more today, and your balance feels good, maybe you've practiced this before, you can reach your arms up and over your head, stretching up, and as you lift up through your hands, lift your toes from the floor, lifting up tall. And maybe you can take one hand and place it on your tummy, and you'll breathe in and out into your tummy like we've practiced. And that helps us get our breathing even bigger. So staying in mountain pose. And then the next time you breathe out, you're going to bring your arms down and touch them to the sides of your legs. We're going to glue them to your side of the legs while you listen and watch what I'm going to show you next. The next pose that we're going to practice is called tree pose. If you're still sitting down, you can practice tree pose. You can take one foot and place it to the inside of your ankle. You can press it to your calf, and that's practicing and opening up the inside of your hip. So that's a good one to practice. If you're standing up today, but your balance is a little bit wobbly, what you can do is find a wall or a chair, something that's sturdy and it's not going to move, and we can practice tree pose here. So you pick one foot up. If you can hold your foot in your hand, that's good. Squeeze the foot into your leg, or you could take it up a little bit higher. And the magic thing here is squeeze your leg into your foot and your foot into your leg, and that helps you stand up straighter. So tree pose. But tree pose can also look like this today. And the amazing thing about trees is they come in all different shapes and sizes, different colours, and they change all the time. So some of your trees might have smaller branches because you're still practicing. Some of your branches, one might be tall, one might be down to the floor. Some of you may want to take your hands and squeeze them together in front of you. Or some of you may want to put your branches, your hands on your tummy. So you can do and make your tree anything you want to do today. Maybe you reach your arms up, you can move your branches from side to side. And if you fall out, then we come straight back in. Okay? You can maybe bring the arms out to the side, wiggle in from side to side. Okay, take that foot down if it was on the leg, and we're going to do the other side. So this side might not need the wall to practice, but it's always good to make sure that we're being safe. Okay, so I'm going to turn around the other way. So we're going to pick the other foot up, and you might want to squeeze it onto your ankle, to the inside of your calf. Maybe you can take the leg up a little bit higher today. It's up to you to practice. And you could reach your branches out in lots of different ways. You can maybe even have your hands down by your hips. So we're just practicing what your tree looks like today. And it doesn't need to look like anybody else's tree. Okay. Take one more big breath in your tree pose. And you're going to set your foot down on the floor and give your legs a little bit of a wiggle. So after all that work with our legs, we're just going to take a little trip around our yoga mat. So we're going to go for a walk all the way around. And then, can you go backwards? Watching out that you don't bump into anything or anyone. Make your way all the way back to stand on your mat. Okay. So the next pose that I'm going to show you today, we're going to be coming down to sit on the floor. So I've got a challenge for you. Can you sit all the way down without using your hands? Okay, so take your hands, crisscross them over your body, and we're going to come down to sit. All the way to sit on our bums, or if we're sitting in a chair, sitting down all the way. Okay, then from here, we're going to roll down onto our backs. 3, 2, 1. If you're sitting in a chair, you can still do this pose. You can move the arms or the legs really slowly. So the next pose I'm going to show you is jellyfish. Jellyfish is a really nice pose. You can still do it in your bed. Maybe it might be cool if you are underneath your covers. Your arms and your legs are in the air and the covers are over the top of you. And you're going to slowly move your arms and your legs from side to side. So if some of you know anything about jellyfish, most of them move with the movement of the water in the river, in the ocean. So they look really slow when you watch them, but they're really strong. So when we move our arms and our legs in this way, some of them have really long tentacles, you can move your arms and your legs, your toes, your fingers in whatever way you want today. You might want to point your toes, you might want to make fists with your hands, or circles. You might want to roll almost over onto one side or the other. Get really creative. Do whatever it is you want to do with your legs today. Or reaching your arms up into the air. Maybe they go over your head and you stretch one leg out and then the other. Maybe you try and touch your toes. So jellyfish pose helps us begin to really slow down and relax. So if you've done a lot of schoolwork today, maybe something has been worrying you, this is a good pose to help give you a little bit of time to think, to maybe speak to someone or write it down. That's a really good thing to do sometimes if something's worrying us. So the next time you breathe in, we're going to squeeze our hands around our knees, creating a little ball, and we're going to roll from side to side and roll forward and back until you're all the way and seated upright. And then come to sit on the mat or your chair with your legs crossed. The last thing we're going to do before we finish class today is listening exercise. This is a really cool thing to do because it helps us develop our skills to hear what people are saying, but also that to hear what's happening inside of us. Because sometimes when we're quiet, that's when we realise something or just have time to have a little think about what's going on. So I'd like you to take your hands and put them on your knees. Today's exercise, we're going to take a big breath in, and you're going to hold your breath for as long as you can without falling over, and listening to everything that you can around about you. Okay, so let's practice that. Take a big breath in, hold your breath, and then how many different things can you hear until you have to breathe out? And when you need to breathe out, breathe all the way out. So some things you might have been able to hear was your own heart beating. Sometimes you can hear that. Maybe you can hear it in your ears. You might have heard clocks in the room. You might have heard different members of your family walking around. You might have heard cars passing by outside. Let's try it again and see if you can hear anything new this time. Take a big breath in. Hold your breath and see all the different sounds that you can hear until you need to breathe out. Okay, how many different sounds could you hear? I heard a car passing by outside. I heard my heart beating. I heard a clock ticking. What else did you hear? Okay, we're going to try that one more time before we finish today. Bring your hands onto your knees, big breath in. Hold your breath. Maybe you can even hear the wind blowing outside, or if it's raining. And when you need to breathe out, breathe your breath all the way out. Okay. Thank you so much for coming and doing some yoga with us today. To finish our class, we take our hands and we press them together in front of us. And we want to say thank you to ourselves for coming and doing some yoga today, and thank you to everybody else that is maybe practicing and doing the same class with us. So take your hands, squeeze them together, take a big breath in, get really tall, and as you bow your head to your hands, you're going to say thank you.